Fire Phoenix, Perna, how to build, stats to prioritize, book effect, artifacts, where you can use. If you end up liking this video, hit the sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell ding thing so you know when I post a video. Let's go, baby. Perna debatably being the best PvE damage dealer in the game. Applies damage taken up, ignores shields and invincibility, can remove immunity, can apply unrevivable. Typically used as your soul link monster, spamming his second skill. If the enemy is immune to CC effects, he uses the same skill one more time. Huge damage. How to Rune. In slot 2, shoot for attack percent. Slot 4, either crit rate or crit damage. If you go for crit rate in slot 4, go for big crit damage substats. And slot 6 is also attack percent. 5 stats to prioritize for Perna. In this order, crit rate to 90%, attack percent and crit damage, accuracy to land those debuffs. And last but not least, if you can't get the others, defense percent. Rune sets. Early game, you can go full blade. If you go full blade, you don't need to worry about crit rate and substats too much. You can focus on substat runes that have good attack percent and crit damage. Something like this, for example, 30% S4 crit damage roll. Another good example, S4 crit damage 30%. Mid game would be your Rage Blade set. To get stats like this, 7000 attack, 100% crit rate, and 353% crit damage. You can go Rage Blade and have crit rate as a main stat in slot 4. If you do crit rate and you get Blade, that's already pretty much 50% crit rate that you don't need in substats. So then you can start focusing on crit damage substats and attack percent substats. For example, runes like this. S4 30% crit damage. S4 30% crit damage. S4 30% crit damage. Always try to shoot for those secondary stats like attack percent. Just know in slot 1, 3, and 5 some stats you can't use. For example, slot 3 you can't get attack percent, so don't even look for it. Your end game kind of runes. This is where you change slot 4 into crit damage or attack, and you just raise that attack as high as possible, because 400% crit damage is the cap. Affinity book effects. The initial book effect for Perna is most likely the best one. You get attack and you also get crit damage. With affinity, you can change it to attack and accuracy, which I wouldn't recommend. Affinity level 4, you can get attack and crit rate. This may be good to get that slot 4 change from crit rate percent to crit damage. Just depends on your runes and your substats. Artifacts. 90% of the time, subjugation is your choice. Deals 10% more damage to bosses. That's what we typically use Perna for, is PvE, bosses. If you want the stat boost and you use Perna as a non-soul link, if you're spamming like Water Fairy Queen, for example, on a soul link reducing monster skill cooldowns, you could use Reload as well. Perna isn't technically a PvP monster, but if you use them in PvP in very certain situations, Optimum is the way to go. And there is one specific time that I use Perna in PvP. And that is when there is a Light Dragon Knight Jaeger. Light Dragon Knight Jaeger is immune to CC. When a target is immune to CC, Perna's Flame Nova does defense penetration 50% and also uses Flame Nova one more time. So if we bring Perna into PvP against a Jaeger, all we do is put Perna on Soul Link and Jaeger's already dead. Goodbye Jaeger. But Perna is a PvE monster. I bring Perna into every single raid, every single hero raid. I use Perna as my main damage dealer in World Boss. I bring Perna in every single dungeon, Special Expedition, Trial of Ascension, and Guild Infinite raid. But that's it for today's video. This is how you build and use Perna. If you end up liking this video, sub, like, ding-a-dingy bell. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!